Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me today is Jay Huseman, and we are here to do the preview show for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Nashville Superspeedway. Going to be a lot of fun watching this one, Jay, and I suspect you've already checked out that entry list.
I have, and it's a full one plus here for the Xfinity Series. And you mentioned it, Nashville is the place to be if you are a NASCAR fan, as we do have all three series running there this weekend. Now, for the Xfinity Series, though, for the Tennessee Lottery 250, we got 40 drivers and teams, and that's for a 38-car field. Means two drivers will miss the race. Now, the notables to mention, we got the number 07 is Nick Lights in the 07. The number 9 for Junior Motorsports, last week's Coke 600 winner, Ross Chastain. The number 14 is going to be Logan Bearden. The number 17 we were talking about in the trucks, the Corey Day. The number 19, Aric Almirola, back with Joe Gibbs Racing for one of his starts. The number 24, which I believe is a Sam Hunt Racing machine, is Earnhardt. That'd be Jeffrey Earnhardt. Jeffrey Earnhardt in that machine. The number 32, Catherine Legg. We always have one TBA, and that's the number 35 as it stands right now. The number 53, Mason Maggio. And then the number 70 is Thomas Annunziata. And the number 91, Myatt Schneider. And we haven't seen him in a while. Now, keep in mind, 2 will miss the field.
Okay, so definitely looking forward to seeing what happens here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Always a very competitive series within NASCAR's ranks. Now, the next race is the Tennessee Lottery 250 that's going to take place at Nashville Superspeedway. Again, it is a 1.33-mile concrete paved oval, and that race is on Saturday, May the 31st, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The home network for the NASCAR Xfinity Series is CW, and they'll start their coverage at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as radio coverage on PRN and SiriusXM NASCAR Channel 90. They will race that distance of 250.04 miles over 188 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 45. Stage 2 is another 45 laps, ending on lap 90. And then the final stage ends on the last lap. It's going to be 98 laps. As far as what to watch is for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, they will have their practice and Kennemental pole qualifying at 2 p.m. on the CW app, and that's Eastern Time. And then the Tennessee Lottery, as we mentioned earlier, starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got a lot of storylines and insights here for our Xfinity Series, Jay.
Yeah, they got a little bit more history at the track than the Truck Series, as this will be the 26th Xfinity Series race at Nashville Superspeedway. That's all time. But again, it goes back to only the 5th since the series returned in 2021. NASCAR didn't race at Nashville between the years of 2012 and 2020.
Now, after Charlotte, the regular season for the NASCAR Xfinity Series is now at that halfway point. 6 of 12 playoff spots have been filled after 12 races.
And we talk about this for several weeks. It's a pack. The first 4 drivers below the cutoff line are all rookies.
And I expect that is going to change because I think some of those rookies just might move up. Okay, now Hendrick Motorsports number 17 has 2 wins, 5 top 2 finishes, and 6 stage wins in 8 races so far this season. Corey Day is scheduled to drive that number 17 car this weekend.
You want to talk about history, though. Joe Gibbs Racing won their 200th career Xfinity Series pole at Charlotte. No other team has even reached 100.
That's amazing. 5 different drivers have won the last 5 Xfinity Series races at Nashville. So you got to wonder if there's going to be a sixth different driver, or are we going to get a first repeat in 5 years?
Well, and it all depends on one driver, because the 2022 winner, Justin Allgaier, is the only past Xfinity Series Nashville winner in the field. So that would suggest the streak continuing, but it's tough to bet against Justin Allgaier, too.
It is indeed. He's having a really good year himself. Now, the Coca-Cola 600 winner, Ross Chastain, is driving the number 9 for Junior Motorsports this weekend.
Now, this is interesting, and I'll talk about that, why I think that might be. 7 drivers have earned their first career Xfinity Series win at Nashville, most recently Brad Keselowski in 2008. And I say that because Sheldon Creed is due for a win, his first career win.
So we hope it happens this weekend, right?
Yep.
All right. Now, Austin Hill is the only active driver to finish inside the top 10 in all 4 Nashville races since they returned to the track in 2021. So Austin Hill could be a tough competitor this weekend.
I was going to say, put him on the list of drivers to compete with Allgaier then, right?
Yep.
Now, 13 drivers entered this weekend have never made an Xfinity Series start at Nashville.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. 2 of the last 4 Nashville races went into overtime. That was prior to 2021. No Nashville race went into overtime. So those are the only overtime races at that track.
Now, the driver that led the most laps has won 14 of 25 Nashville races, but that includes 8 of the last 10. So that really has been a dominant factor in the last 10 races.
Okay, something to keep your eye on this weekend. All right, now the Stage 2 winner has gone on to win the race in 3 of 4 Nashville races. So we've given you 2 ways that you can clue in on who the winner might be.
And we were talking about polls, 7 different streaks. 7 different drivers have won the last 7 Nashville polls.
And Joe Gibbs Racing has won 7 of the last Nashville polls. So that kind of goes hand in hand there. It's Joe Gibbs Racing.
Well, there you go. That would lead to Aric Almirola, and we know he just shows up to win. So
yes.
How big is our list so far of drivers we're picking to win?
Not very big, I don't think.
Now, only 3 times in 25 Nashville races has there been a pass for the win in the final 2 laps of the race. Again, this one tends to be a dominant, and we saw it when you talk about winning Stage 2.
Yes, indeed. Now, the 2024 race featured the fewest leaders at 3. The lead changes came in at 4, and DNF's 0 in Nashville Xfinity Series history. It was also tied for the fewest cautions with those 3 cautions. But you talk about who's a driver who might be able to challenge. This next driver is definitely going to be tough to beat as well.
It is Justin Allgaier. Right now, he leads all drivers with 9 top 5 finishes and 537 laps led in 2025.
Also, Allgaier's 9 top 5 finishes this year are his most ever after 13 races in the season.
He's also won the fastest lap award 4 times this season. No other driver has won more than 2.
Wow. And Allgaier has 9 top 10s away from being the first driver to reach 300. The first driver to reach 300, Jay.
And he's with the right team. As we look at Junior Motorsports, they're at 7 wins away from 100. Only 3 other teams have won at least 100 Xfinity Series races. Joe Gibbs Racing is at 217. Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing at 138. And Richard Childress Racing at 100 just got their 100th earlier this season.
Amazing. Sam Mayer, well, he's the only driver to finish in the top 15 in 11 of the 13 races so far this season.
Now, this one doesn't bode well with the Nashville stats, but when we look at the series races this year, 5 of the 13 Xfinity Series races have ended with a last lap pass. So we'll see if they can, which is more dominant, the series for the year or the track itself.
And the last 3 races this season had a pass for the win in the final 2 laps. So that sounds like an exciting finish.
As does 7 of the 13 races this season going into overtime. Again, it doesn't show that at Nashville, but they've done it so far this year. We talked about the competition in the Truck Series. It's just as heavy here in the Xfinity Series.
It is. Now, 3 crew chiefs got their first Xfinity Series win so far this year. They include Adam Wall, who won at Bristol, Sam McAuley at Darlington, and Chad Haney at Atlanta. So pretty cool to see them getting their first wins in the Xfinity Series.
Well, unfortunately, one crew chief that won't be, and that's Kevin Walter for Daniel Dye. Oh, I'm sorry, he can, because he's returning after his one race suspension at Charlotte.
Okay, now Chevrolet has led 1,938 of 2,448 laps so far this season.
And their domination continues overall as they have won 11 of the first 13 races, tied for the most wins by a manufacturer in the first 13 races in series history. Chevrolet also won 11 of the first 13 back in 1994. So it's been a while since they've done it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Alpha Prime had 3 top 5 finishes in the last 7 races, and the team only had 2 career top 5s entering this season. So they're kind of on an upswing here.
And 2025 is the first season since 2017 without a first-time winner in the first 13 races. Looking for Sheldon Creed to break that.
Well, let's talk about Catherine Legg. She returns and is piloting the number 32 for Jordan Anderson Racing Chevrolet at Nashville, her 5th Xfinity Series start of this season.
Now, show competitiveness of the Xfinity Series. 13 races this season have produced 191 lead changes. That's 3rd most all time.
And the 13 Xfinity Series races this season have also produced 106 different leaders. That's 2nd most all time.
Now, on the other end, though, there's been 68 cautions for incident in 2025, which is tied for the most all-time through 13 races. The record it ties was set in 2022.
All right. So again, we've got some more information that we can talk about here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, just stated in a little bit different way in an effort to reinforce some of the stats that we've already touched on. So turn up the music, Jay.
All right. Well, we got it's a Nashville Saturday night showdown for the Xfinity Series. It's been 3 races since a NASCAR Xfinity Series full-time driver celebrated in victory lane this season. So there's plenty of motivation on the grid for Saturday night's Tennessee Lottery 250 at Nashville Speedway.
Now, Richard Childress Racing's Austin Hill was the last of the championship-eligible drivers to win a race, doing so on April 26th at Talladega Superspeedway. And he's the only Xfinity Series regular to score top 10 finishes in the last 4 Nashville races.
Now, historically speaking, Nashville has been a challenge for the series championship contenders. 7 different drivers have won the last 7 races. Reigning series champ Junior Motorsports Justin Allgaier is the only full-time driver with an Xfinity Series win at the 1.33-mile track, claiming that trophy in 2022 after leading 134 of the 180 laps and beating Trevor Bayne by an impressive 4.513 seconds.
That is a commanding lead. Now, Allgaier is a 2-race winner already this season and the current championship leader by a healthy 72 points over the 3-race winner, Hill, who has 7 top 5 finishes in the opening 9 races, but has suffered through some erratic finishes lately. He has a pair of top 10s alternating with finishes of 21st at Rockingham and 35th at Texas. So he wants to kind of level that out and bring some stability to the team, starting right here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Now, a driver we haven't talked about yet, but to keep your eye on this weekend is the Haas Factory team's Sam Mayer. He's the only championship contender among the top 6 in points without a trophy so far yet this season. But he's never finished worse than 10th at Nashville and has a pair of top 5 showings in 3 races at the track. Maybe I'm on the bandwagon of the wrong Haas Factory team.
Well, we'll see what he does this weekend. Now, the competition level in the series is so high right now, and Jay and I were talking about that. The past 3 races coming to Nashville have been decided by a pass in the final 2 laps of the race. But I expect it to be pretty exciting again this year.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the Packer rookies, but one that has separated himself you want to watch is rookie Connor Zilisch. He had a runner-up effort last week in the number 88 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet, and that moved him up 6 positions in the Xfinity Series Championship standings, now up to 6th place. Now, this will be his Nashville Superspeedway debut, though.
So it'll be fun watching Connor again in the Xfinity Series. He does so well. Now, last week's NASCAR Cup Series race winner, Ross Chastain, is driving again that number 9 Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. He's the former NASCAR Cup Series regular, Aric Almirola, who won at Phoenix earlier this year, is also back behind the wheel of the 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. And Catherine Legg will be driving the number 32 Jordan Anderson Racing Chevrolet. So should be fun to watch.
Now, practice is set for 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. That'll be followed by the Kennemetal pole qualifying at 3:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Both sessions airing live on the CW app. Ty Gibbs, who is not racing this weekend, is what started from the pole position last year. Kyle Busch in 2021 is the last pole sitter to win a race there.
Wow. So going to be fun to watch this weekend. Let's cover the points. I know we kind of touched on some aspects of the points, but let's talk about the points here in the Xfinity Series.
All right. Well, again, you got Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, and Sam Mayer as your top 3. Allgaier with 2 wins, Hill with 3. Playoff points here. The top 2, Allgaier and Hill. Allgaier has 14 playoff points. Hill has 21. I don't know if I see anybody else above 10. So those 2 right now trying to set themselves up in a real good position. Jesse Love in 4th does have a win and a stage win, so he's got 6 playoff points. Brandon Jones, just the win by itself, gives him 5. Connor Zilisch, 1 win plus 2 stage wins, is at 7 points, now in the 6th position. Then you have Ryan Sieg, Carson Cavapo, Jeb Burton, and Sheldon Creed rounding out your top 10. I'm going to go down 11th and 12th. 11th is Harrison Burton. Does have 2 stage wins for 2 playoff points. Nick Sanchez, a rookie in 12th, has a 1 stage win, 1 playoff point, but he's not the cut line because Sammy Smith in 13th has a win and a stage win for 6 playoff points. He's locked in above these drivers. So Sanchez, the cut line at 320. Then you go to the rest of the rookies here that are in that pack. Taylor Gray, 303, is 17 points back. 4 more points is Daniel Dye at 299. Then 18 points back, Dean Thompson. Behind him, that one's a little bit more of a gap, 25 points. No, 15 points. back to Christian Eckes in 17th. And that's where we were talking about that pack of rookies. I think there's several right there we've seen come close. Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray, Christian Eckes. If he's not breaking or having bad luck, he has been a up front or in the back type of year. Unfortunately, more in the back than up front.
He has been. And this is another situation where some of these drivers that are currently below the cut line could come up with a victory. So that's going to push that line, some people below the line. And an interesting one to keep your eye on is if Harrison Burton should come up with a win, he stands a chance of possibly, because Sammy Smith is right there in that 10th spot, of pushing Jeb below the cut line, depending on how
it would. And you're right, it would. And again, it would change the points a bunch, because if a winner were to come from below Sheldon Creed, he would be next in line as far as then on the line. But then the points gap goes to 20 and 30 points. We're talking about it being within 10, 15. You're talking about a jump there. So have to keep an eye on that. And this is a track, we talked about it, of first-time winners. We haven't seen a whole lot of domination. Although Justin Allgaier's win was a dominating win, he's not dominated at the track overall.
But so many of these drivers below the cut line, Jay, could be winners. Could be one of those first-time winners. Christian Eckes won this race in the Truck Series.
And that's where I was going to say, you're right. He does have the experience from the Truck Series, as several of these drivers do. That's right. Man, this one would be really tough. Again, you obviously got to look at your top two contenders, Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, of Xfinity Series regular. But then on the other hand, you got Aric Almirola and Ross Chastain as Cup drivers, Junior Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing. And we showed their stats. So you got a case for them, and that's 4 right there.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough for these guys to beat any one of those 4 drivers. So unless they run into some bad luck, you never know, Jay.
So I'm going to go against the trend, though, of Chevrolet. I'm going to go with Ford and stick with the Haas factory. It may be Sam Mayer with a little bit better stats, but Sheldon Creed, just don't finish second. Yeah, just don't finish second.
Yeah, try to avoid that at all costs. Okay, so for me, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Chevrolet teams. I'm going to go Justin Allgaier. Austin Hill is certainly one to keep your eye on this weekend, but put me down for Justin Allgaier. He's got 2 wins there already. I just think he knows this track probably better than most.
And we've seen that of teams that kind of have that sophomore slump, not sophomore slump, but championship fatigue after winning a championship. Yes. We have not seen that from Justin Allgaier and that Junior Motorsports team.
His passion is just as strong as it ever was.
I don't remember what the length of it was, but how many years it took him to get that first one. He's just going to go out and go back to back and get a second one right away.
Yep. Okay, well, I think that's it for our NASCAR Xfinity Series, unless you have something else, Jay.
No, this one, man, what's going to be the best race of the weekend would be another whole discussion, because I think both the Truck Series, the Xfinity, as well as the Cup, we'll get to that in just a few minutes, but I think you're in for some great racing this weekend, and they're all night races. Yes. I heard some talk about that of trying to alleviate that summertime heat there in the Nashville area, so they're all night races. I think that's kind of cool.
I love it because it gives me time to get out in my yard and do some of the work I need to do in the yard. So I can do that during the day and then come in and relax watching a race. So I love it.
There you go.
But do watch for more coming soon. We've got the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series all racing at Nashville this weekend. So we'll have all of those previews up. and running so that you'll know who to watch and what to expect for all 3 series at Nashville. Now, on the other side of the weekend, we'll be back again for reviews of all of these races. We'll also have our NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off live stream on Monday night, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. And we love it if fans interact with us during the course of that show. So if you can join us, we'd really appreciate it. We've seen an uptick in the numbers, and we hope to continue to see that tick upward. So thank you to everybody who has been tuning in. We do appreciate it.
We appreciate you watching and sharing and spreading the word.
Yeah, absolutely. And that ties into just saying thank you to everybody for tuning in, whether it's the Hot Topic Sound Off live stream, our reviews, our previews, or our interviews. We do have some more interviews on tap, so watch for more of those coming soon as well. So, Jay, I'm ready to move on to the next video. How about you?
All right. It's the big one.
Okay, we'll see you there, everybody. Take care.